Welcome, fifth graders. Welcome to the Fort Atkinson High School. The high school band students. This is under the direction of Mr. Stager right over here. Wait, Mr. Stager. Let's play a little Hey Baby for you. You might have seen them already perform at a couple of the home football games. They have a couple more coming up, including this Friday night as the homecoming game. So you'll be hearing them perform then if you go to the game. And I don't know, did anybody go to the Jefferson Parade this last weekend? You might have seen them there. So, yeah, so you've seen them around a little bit. They're going to play now for their opener. We have high hopes that many of you are going to be in band. So here are high hopes. Wasn't that great? Wow. All right. I'm sounding awesome this year. So, just a word. I'm going to kind of put in some things here and there. Just a word to remember. If you've already started orchestra, you should continue participating and practicing that instrument, of course, with Mr. Finnegan. But if you and your parents and your teachers and myself think you can handle doing both, if you handle it. So I know it gets exciting when you're here. This is a lot of fun. So if it's something you think you might want to try, please talk to us, even if you've already decided to do that as well, okay? So coming up here, we are going to hear every section of the band. So where did my flutes go? Where are they? Oh, are they hiding? All right, so our flutes. The flute is in the woodwind family. There's also what we call an alto flute, a bass flute, and a piccolo. Piccolos are really, really high, very high. They are the highest member of the woodwind family, okay? Some of you might think when you played recorder, how many of y'all played recorder in 3rd, 4th grade, right? And yep, y'all should have. Right, so lots of times it kind of sounds like a recorder, and actually the fingerings are very similar. The way it's designed is very similar. It just is off the side. So here are the flutes. They are going to play for you Into the Unknown. Please be a good audience and be quiet so they can play. That sounded so nice. Thank you, Flutes. Next we have another member of our woodwind family, the clarinets. So the clarinets are played with reeds. Okay. Oh, boys and girls, if somebody's up here talking, I would appreciate it if you'd be quiet and listen. Okay. Let's be respectful of who's talking. That'd be me. Oh, wait a second. 5th graders. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So clarinets are played with reeds, and this also includes an alto clarinet. Well, we don't have an alto here, but a bass clarinet. There's a bass clarinet. Looks a little different. You would start on your regular clarinet here, and then you could graduate into a bass clarinet if you get into middle school or high school. And this is also very similar to the recorder because of the way you hold your fingers in your hands. You know, which hand is on top, right? So clarinets are going to play Married Life from Up. Once again, nicely done, clarinets. Thank you. Okay, next up we have the saxophone family. The last of the woodwinds, they also use reeds. And there is a soprano saxophone. We have alto saxophones, tenor, and bari saxophones. Oh, I'll wait again. So you'll notice they are all different sizes. Well, we have a couple different sizes here, okay? So here's our soprano saxophone. Anton's going to hold that up. You'll hear that. And we have our altos. That's the majority. That's what you would start on is your alto saxophone. And we have tenor right over there. And the lowest big one back down there, that boy, is bass, or bari, sorry. Playing the bass line, the bari saxophone. All right. They are going to play for you the Monsters, Inc. theme. How fun is that? Hopefully it doesn't want to make you go hide under your bed. Okay. So there are a couple other woodwind instruments. We currently don't have too many. There's an oboe player at the middle school. So I have started some oboe students before. And so that's definitely a possibility. If that's something you're really familiar with or would like to hear, definitely reach out to me because we can work something out as far as an oboe. It is a double reed instrument. Then you could graduate into playing a bassoon. We don't usually start bassoon players in 5th grade, but that would be something you could do. Next up, we begin our brass family with the trumpets. So the trumpets use a mouthpiece. Yeah. And they buzz to make their sound. It doesn't come from the reed. There's no wood or anything on this. It's all part of that contraption. All one piece there with just a mouthpiece. And the trumpets are never going to give you up. Our next brass section, we're going to actually pull up the low brass here next, okay? Come on up. So here you're going to see a few different instruments. You will see the trombone. Trombone is the only brass instrument. I'll wait, guys. The only brass instrument with a slide instead of valves. So you can see and you'll watch them as they play. It's a popular feature in marching bands and jazz bands. And then we have our baritones. Where's the baritone? Down there on that end. You got a there's the regular baritone. Yep, baritone or euphonium. Looks like a small tuba, right? They have, but the baritone has a similar sound and a range to the trombone. And it does use valves. And then the fifth graders, you would all start on a baritone before you would be able to play this big boy, the tuba. So that's something as you get a little older, because some of you are, about the same size as that. So we gotta grow into that and play the baritone first. And that is the lowest member of the brass family. Altogether, they are going to play the Ride of the Valkyries. Hold on, percussion. I think I'm not sure exactly what. We have another section here. Lainey, come on up. Just come on up. So, they're one of our smaller sections. And just so happens we're missing a couple of them today. So, I know Mr. Steger was he going to come up with somebody else? All right. Well, do you have a problem? Would you mind soloing? All right. So, the French horn. This is a high to middle sound. Oh, here we go. Are you just going to play one? He's got a trumpet. So, it actually has the most tubing of any instrument. If you were to stretch it all out, it would be longer than a tuba, to be honest. So, the French horn has a nice mellow sound in the middle of the high range. And the bell actually points backwards when you play. So, you lose a lot of air, but it creates just this beautiful sound. It does have the smallest mouthpiece, and that helps to create this nice mellow sound. So, Lainey here on the French horn is going to do a little feature from a Star Wars movie, because it gets a lot of nice features in movie music like that. A little extra effect in the background. All right. And now onto our percussion. They are set up back there. They're going to start off with their cadence. This is something that you might have heard on the parade route along the way, or when you're coming to a football game. Percussion, hit or strike. So we can, anything that you tap or strike, you've done a lot of those in general music class. And that includes the mallets and things that are going to be up here. They're going to do that next. So we'll start with the cadence. Take it away. Jam town. And so as they are walking up here to get set to play their next piece up on the mountain, I just want to explain, because some kids are like, well, I just want to play the drums. I signed up for the drums. I didn't sign up for the bells. No, you do sign up for the bells. When you sign up for percussion, that is part of what you have to learn. So we do prefer that you have some piano experience, because if you notice all of these marimbas and vibraphones and xylophones, they're all set up just like a piano keyboard. And you kind of have to have those skills and know where those notes are. It makes it a lot easier to play because you're looking at your music, you're noting down, whatever. So, and it's, like I said, you're kind of learning double. You're going to be learning how to read notes and the melody on the bells at the same time that you are learning rhythms and technique on all of the drums and cymbals and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to give Gabby just a second to come back up with her cymbals. This piece was arranged by Mr. Fettig. He is the middle school band director. He could not be here this afternoon, but it's called Rise Up, and this is what the second piece in their marching band show that they will be doing at the football game on Friday evening. So if you want to hear the whole song, this is just a snippet of the song. Want to hear the whole song? Come to the game. Here you go. Thank you, Percussion. And you can go on back. We're going to get set for our last song. Before we get up there, before we start talking about that, I'm going to tell you just a few things. Because next Tuesday, a week from today, is our sign-up night. So you're getting a little sheet to take home today to tell your parents that, hey, you got to hear the band. And these next few days, I'm going to be coming around to each of your schools. And if you filled out on your survey that you're going to do after you get done listening to this, that you would like to try a band instrument, then I will be pulling you out of class one at a time and having you come and try out the instruments. We're going to do it safe. I got all kinds of good sanitizer and all that kind of stuff. So no worries there. It's just to make sure we get the right fit for you and whatever instrument that you might like to try. Right now is the perfect time for you to try something. Some people go, I don't know, band's not for me. But I really believe that everybody has it in them to try something new. So by all means, give it a shot, and we'll get you playing some music. And I also don't want you to worry about the cost. Some of your parents might say, oh, I can't afford it. You know what? There's a lot of things that we can do to help you get an instrument. And I don't want that to be any reason that you don't come and talk to me. So please, please, please see me if you're really interested, but you're worried about that. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And yeah, just one other reminder, you know, if you're an orchestra student, you would have to be doing two. I'm not going to let you drop out. You're going to do two things. It would be twice the work. Just keep that in mind, but some kids can handle it. And also know that one instrument's not harder than another. Some might say, oh, what's the easiest instrument? Because they think that that's what they want to play. But sometimes what's easy for one person is really hard for somebody else. I really, really, really wanted to play clarinet when I was in 5th grade. I'm like, I'm going in there, I'm going to play clarinet. I went to my trial that night. I could not make a sound on the clarinet to save my life. And so I ended up they said, oh, here, try the French horn. So what Lainey played, I ended up playing French horn all the way through because it just happened to work a lot better for me. But that's not necessarily an easy instrument for everybody because, you know, there's just mouth is formed, all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of things to take into account. So that's what we're going to try and figure out this next week. And sometimes if it doesn't quite work after a little while, we can make a change, but we don't like to do that a lot. This is a commitment, and it takes time to learn. You can't just after 2 weeks say, well, I'm no good at this, and I'm going to give it up. Or even 2 months. That's really not long enough to learn something new. So keep that in mind when you sign up this next week, that this is a commitment that you should be doing for the rest of this 5th grade year. If you decide at the end of 5th grade, yeah, I'm going into middle school, that's probably not my thing, that's okay. But I like to see people give it a good shot, okay? So keep that in mind, because chances are you get over some of those learning curves, and you might find something that you really, really, really like about it. Not to mention, we're going to be going to see the UW Varsity Band in February. So if you drop out before then, you're not going to get to go on this fun field trip we're going to have for the day. You're going to get out of school, and we're going to go to Madison. So it'll be a great day. All right. And you do have to practice. That's something you got to keep in mind. Right, guys? We all have to practice. We make them practice more than they want to practice sometimes, but they all know, hey, how are you going to learn this music? How are you going to make it better? They have to take the time themselves to do it. So it's always what you put into it is what you get out of it. And that's the way it is with anything, whether you're playing a sport, doing your homework, all of that stuff. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it. So the more you put into it, the more fun you're going to have playing. So I really appreciate all these guys. Let's just go around, show high schoolers. Raise your hand if you went to a Rockwell school. Raise your hand if you were a Rockwell Roadrunner. All right. How about anybody go to St. Joe's? They're down here in the front. St. Joe's. We got a couple down back there. All right. And we got Purdy right behind them. How about you went to Purdy? Okay. And behind them we have Barry. How many are Barry Broncos? And over here we have Luther Lightning. Luther Lightning Heats. So everybody started somewhere. So you might get to be here someday doing the same thing. All right, so I guess we'll have to find out how far you'll go. Here's our closing song by the high school band from Moana. Oh, I was going to check and see what we got for time. Might have time for a few quick questions, actually. What is our time? Oh, it is 1:30, so I think it is about time to go. So thank you all for coming today. There again, shoot me an email if you have any other questions or anything about it between now and next week. Parents can reach out to me for anything. So look forward to seeing you all this week. Let's see if we can get it out here kind of orderly. We'll let Luther go first. We'll just wait. We'll do it one school at a time. And since they're closest to the door, thank you.